Wait, so am I live or not? Oh, well, hello everyone. Apparently Nismo is muted for this stream, so I'll be your main commentator for tonight. WMDR Martin here.
Okay, I think I've
bringing
gotten
to you
back.
the final round of the season.
Yeah, the final round of the Formula USA 2023 League here at Laguna, Seca. Thanks for covering me at the start there, Martin. But yeah, an interesting track to end on, especially with the conditions that we're going to be witnessing here tonight. But the first group already out in qualifying, and currently all of them on their hot laps, but Svi already getting a 119, definitely a banker lap I would expect. But yeah, really interesting track today, and I've definitely learned some interesting facts prior to the stream, as Findict as well in the chat saying the curbs are lethal, and from the things I've already witnessed in practice, I can 100% agree with him, especially in Sector 3, they're completely dangerous. But yeah, I've actually learned a few things from about Laguna Seca while in practice, and that's did you know that there is actually a special exhaust for cars at Laguna Seca that they add to the cars?
A special exhaust, you say?
Yes, and now you're gonna find it quite funny, because this racetrack gets noise complaints. Who would have guessed? But it gets so many noise complaints and stuff that there's now like decibel meters around the track. So it's just an L-shaped exhaust essentially that faces inwards towards the track, that it shoots the sound that way rather than outside of the circuit.
That is a pretty wild solution to what I'd call quite a non-issue. I mean, imagine moving next to a track that's been there for decades, and then you complain about the noise. I mean, that's like going to a slaughterhouse and pretending there's animals getting killed there.
Yeah, ooh, Phil signed off. But luckily, I think he's on an out lap. But Svi, as much as he did that 119 earlier, has definitely stepped up and now has a 109. I think someone on the Discord said that they've got a 107. I think that was Gillis Homan. Sadly, I believe he has a qualifying ban for some prior investigation. So
yeah, I believe that was in part for the infringement on calling a safety car when none was warranted. So yeah, as you guys know, the league is fairly strict on calls like those. Only safety cars when there's 3 vehicles involved in a crash. And yeah, if you call the safety car when there's not quite 3 people involved, then that still affects everyone's race, so that's why that is punished so harshly.
yeah, something that I've just noticed is Escher taking provisional pole away from Svi by 2 milliseconds. It's already getting close at the start. So he's going to be looking to hopefully get towards the front. Lots of more times coming in, but they don't look as close as I was expecting they would be. So maybe a lot more drivers still not able to hook the car up. But
yeah, I mean, I think so far it's mostly people trying to heat up their tires and also making mistakes on their first laps, because I don't think Xevious, Fennec, and Eddie are 4 or 5 seconds slower than Escher, as Escher here improves by almost 2/10, so we may well be getting a new PB if the dirty air ahead is not going to have too much of an effect. But yeah, this track, one of the more challenging ones in these high downforce cars.
yeah, and something that is quite funny is the fact that, Svi with a 107.8, and Fennec as well, taking that away from him with a 107.5. Those are competitive lap times.
Yeah, and as you said before, we have seen, oh, that's a mountainside. We've seen competitive lap times around the 107s before, and now we're seeing them in qualifying as well, so not quite sure why it was taking people quite that long to set even a banker lap, but we're seeing them being set now. I think the top 3 is probably fairly representative. as Xevious now gets within 2 seconds of pole.
Yeah, Veilside as well, almost in the 106er, so that is an absolutely banger of a lap time.
Yeah, just make sure they're not banging too hard or they might get noise complaints.
But something that I've that is quite hilarious, I've got to say, is the fact that the official, I'll say official.
Oh, that was a corner cut.
Or hopefully that hopefully he will have to lift off, because if he doesn't and he still improves that oh, and those are the sector 3 curbs.
Yeah, I mean, auto spin curbs have been a thing on this track in many a racing sim. I remember, especially in PC2, you had to avoid so many of the curbs around here.
Yeah, but whoa, those rear tires are clearly quite heated. Is he?
Yeah, someone let him cook just a little too much, I think.
But the official fastest lap time, of course, in real life talking, since time trial is down. But,
again, wow.
The fastest lap time in real life, if I can find it, I had it right here in front of me, I believe is a 1 minute 10 second, the fastest official lap time. Which is quite funny, the fact that these Indy cars here are already beating it by 3 seconds. I find that quite hilarious, to be fully honest.
Yeah, that is quite an interesting statistic. I mean, we are seeing some slightly different lines being taken, because of course these physics are not the most realistic in the world. But generally you at least expect the cars to be within 1 second, maybe 2, of the real life lap times. But if I'm not mistaken, these cars aren't exactly based off the Indy cars, are they? Aren't they like a slight modification? We'll have to do some research on that after the league is over, and keep in mind, fellas, even after the season is over, we'll be having some more races with GT4 for the next season.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a fun one. It's more variation, and it's definitely going to bring some, maybe some. I know some quicker drivers are actually banned from selecting the quicker cars, so that could bring very much some closer battling between the top runners and the runners that you might see further behind. And I've actually just found out what the fastest... Oh, Ellie off again. The sector 3 curbs have claimed another victim.
That's just in time to catch a face full of barrier. Oh my goodness.
And a face full of cloud as well.
Oh, unfortunately, just couldn't quite check where that car had slotted into, but Ellie is back in the pits now with I think about a minute left for these guys, so we still have most of them out on track. Interestingly enough, Eddie's car is invisible, so he may have blown his engine at some point, which is a strategy that is used in these cars. Now, keep in mind as well, Eddie's input's usually quite jittery, as he is one of the pad drivers, but earlier in the session, I did see him use some fairly... Yeah, like this over here. These are not your typical pad inputs. I think he's probably pushing the joystick forward a little bit as well.
I can definitely tell you from experience, I myself sometimes push it a bit forward, just not to give that 100% turn in. But yeah, sometimes
it's
you just
a necessity if you want to be fast in these kinds of high downforce cars. And he's about to finish, I think, his final lap. That's not the best exit, and yeah, he has aborted it. He is 7.99 tenths off of provisional pole, which is Veilside, who has set a 107.015.
Yeah, and on to our next group, which includes, if we find,
not quite done yet. I think Xevious is busy on his final run.
Oh, I wonder if he can do a better... Oh!
He's definitely done a better crash than Ellie.
And surprisingly in Sector 2 as well.
Yeah.
But if I can find
this track, of course, not one of the safest ones, especially for these kinds of cars. It's a bit easier when you're driving slower cars, because then you're not quite taking the sharp corners as quickly, and of course there's barely any actual runoff with grip as well. You're pretty much instantly in gravel, as we see here with Shad doing an interesting racing line there and getting out of the way very nicely.
I would say that was almost a commentator's curse by yourself there.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, in the second group we've got RuneLink Ultimate K's, Cuckoo, Tomahawks, Kunisek, Jedlin, Michael, Mo, Eisenschank, Trouble, Shad, Dina, and Simon Core. And whether any of these drivers can can beat the lap time of Veilside with the 107.015 and potentially get into the 106s, I definitely think it's going to be hard, but I wouldn't say it's impossible.
Yeah, and I mean, setup-wise, this track is fairly interesting as well, because you just saw in turn 1, you kind of want the rears to step out a little bit to get that rotation early and get on the power early, but that will make the car tremendously unstable pretty much everywhere on the track, so it's a really, really fine, delicate balance that you want to reach here, and it seems like some drivers have found it and others haven't, because, I mean, we're seeing Fennec here way faster than he's been in recent races, and some other fast drivers that seem to be off the pace today.
Yeah, and I've just seen some interesting information, and that's the fact that as much as Veilside is in P1 right now, he's going to be dropping back because he has a 2-position penalty as it stands right now.
Ooh, okay, so that definitely does, wait, how are they going to enforce that?
Well, I think in game, I believe.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I forgot we're not using standing starts. Yeah, when the rolling start procedure gets underway, he will have to forfeit 2 of his positions, as Cuckoo puts it, 1 millisecond behind Xevious.
And Dina having a 1-place penalty as well. So those are probably due to speeding in the pit lane. I'm guessing, which is very unfortunate. But sometimes, you know, even I've done it multiple times. I just forget to turn on my pit limiter.
Wait, so is the Tomba... Ooh, that's a heavy cut there as he backs off of that lap. Was the Tomba one also in-game, or is that from the stewards?
Yeah, they're both in-game penalties.
Oh, okay, so then he's not even... We're not going to have to do anything about that then. So he's just going to automatically start 2 places down. So that does put... wait, you said that was Veilside, right? Not Tomba?
Veilside and Dina. So Dina with a 1-place penalty and Veilside with a 2-place penalty.
So that puts Tomahawks on provisional pole, only less than a tenth away from the actual time, and Eisenschank not doing too bad either at 1.5 seconds behind in P7.
Yeah, so
I'm just wondering though, we have quite a few people with no lap time in, well, they're not quite all in the pits anymore, but there are still a few people who have not set a single lap, and we're also only with 18 people today on track.
Yeah, so whether this might be close, or maybe some people's track isn't some people's cup of tea. Maybe the rain scared them off a bit,
or it was the noise complaints. They were afraid of being criticized for it.
But these...
Understandable, really, the wrath of the Karens.
There's always one in each city at least, or town.
As it seems like RuneLink now going through the final corner, but he's going too wide. He only has 5.5 minutes left to set a lap. He has no time on the board at the moment, and as things stand, would even start behind Gillish, who has a qualifying ban. That
is insane. If you know, there's not qualifying, and there's on purposely not qualifying because you have a qualifying ban. If you start ahead of someone, you know, come on. at that point, you know, there's something that you kind of need to think. What, you know, how's it got this bad? But I think
some Lando Norris at Mexico level chaos right there.
I mean, if that's so, then you know he'll come straight from the back of the grid easily.
Of course, but that does mean that he would have to, on a fairly tricky track, make his way through all 17 other drivers, which yeah, quite the challenge, especially with the effect of the dirty air, I assume, must be pretty bad on this track.
Yeah, especially through this last sector. That long left-hander is going to cause so much dirty air, and into this right corner, which is surprisingly, you can take a lot of speed through that, as much as it's almost a 90-degree turn. I think that's all thanks to that banking and that camera, but if you've got dirty air, I'm sorry, you're going to get launched. And hopefully we won't see that tonight, but who knows?
Alright, I think we're on a hot lap with Shad now, the other driver not to set a lap. RuneLink has... Ooh!
Oh my god, he kept that one together.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's going to be a valid lap time, though. We'll just have to wait and see, but he is keeping on pushing. Meanwhile, Runelink has set a time, but it's only good enough for P15. That is 6.5 seconds off the pace, with Trouble only a tenth or so behind.
Yeah, hopefully they can move further up the grid.
Oh, I think Michael's just joined the session right on time, so we're up to 19 drivers, but that also means that Michael has not set a time as well.
Calling it, cutting it very close there on the limit, because I believe it's at the 1 minute 30-second time that you can't actually join AMS2 lobbies in qualifying. So, if he's just joined, wow.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see if he can put that car above his teammate, because, I mean, Runelink's still only P15. That can't be too hard to beat.
Yeah, indeed. And can Michael do a good lap for his team, the
heating up his tires.
McLaren?
I wonder if the track is extra cold, because you wouldn't expect people to have to heat up their tires on a track like this that generally puts quite the load in them, as Runelink's gone P2.
Wow, from 15th place all the way up to P. He jumped so many cars, 14 to be precise. And that is well, technically that's provisional pole as it currently stands.
Yeah, exactly, with Veilside getting those penalties, so that is a tremendous job from Runelink there, leaving it a bit late, not quite getting a decent banker lap, but definitely getting a good one when it matters. And it seems like Tomba has still not given up as well. He's about to cross the line.
Can Tomba take that P2 position or that provisional pole? I believe that was an outlap from him, so let's stay on board with him to see if he can do it this lap.
See how many of those apexes he can hit so far, avoiding all of the curbs.
I mean, we've seen how dangerous they can be, but taking that one fully.
Yeah, I think it's especially the outer exit curbs that you really want to watch out for, as he does improve by almost 0.02 of a second. Not quite enough to change positions, but he'll have to keep up that speed throughout sectors 2 and 3.
Yeah, and all he needs is another 200ths if he wants to gain, and he's got those hundredths as it currently stands. He's so close. They were going to be almost tied if they were to cross the line. Now he's got to hook up this sector 3. Oh, and his car's been killed by the curbs. That
was I've seen a lot of deaths in that corner due to the auto spin curbs. I've never quite seen the car rotate like that. That almost looked like a suspension failure, like Magnussen had over in Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, these curbs are. I told you they were dangerous. You had not witnessed. I'm guessing you hadn't witnessed the pure rage of that outer curb yet, but that was absolutely insane. I still don't understand how the physics engine decides the car wants to point right at that moment.
Yeah, I mean, I've died a lot of times on that curb myself, and usually it just sends the car to the left. At least in PC2 it does, so I'm guessing this game decided to switch it up and send the car to the right, as Keza presumably about to start his final lap, but there is a car ahead of him, so that may potentially impact his lap time. Currently P9, what's he get over the line? Not an improvement, so this is going to be his last chance.
I think that curb as well is the definition of don't let them know your next move. Because it confuses the entire grid, I'll say that.
As people are all on their final laps now, Keza, the fastest man, still on track, but only good enough for P9. He's being out-qualified by quite a few people that are usually behind him, and I believe, has Keza won the championship, or is he just leading it?
I did ask him that question earlier, and I do believe that I think he did tell me that he believes he has actually won the championship. I mean, of course, we'll have a look after all the drop races and stuff, but I think as far as I'm concerned right now, he technically has won the championship, as far as I can see.
Interesting. I wonder at what point that was calculated, because no one told me last week.
But as it stands, it's Veilside who took the quickest lap time, but is not going to be taking provisional pole, sadly having 2 grid place penalties.
It says 1 for me.
It says 2 for me. So another AMS2 glitch.
AMS shenanigans, so let's go.
It's going to be Runelink to take P1, followed by Tomba in P2, 3 moving to P2, and Veilside's gonna slot in the P3, sadly. And Fennec's gonna be P4. Cuckoo's gonna slot in P5. Eddie P6. Tvi P7. Eisenshank P8. And Eisenshank P8. Ultimate Case P9. Escher P10. Xevious P11. Shad P12. Kunisek P13. Ellie P14, Jedlin P15, Michael P16, Trouble P17, Dina P18, and to finish it off with Gillis, who had that penalty, who's gonna finalize the grid in P19. So yeah, quite an interesting lineup, especially to see that Gillis is all the way at the back, and maybe we can hope he can have a Lando Norris sort of race where we might end up seeing him come back. I mean, we've seen it before where he got involved in that incident in Long Beach and he was just able to come back through the field. But yeah, RuneLink to take provisional pole, and Tomahawks in P2. Definitely an interesting front grid. Normally we'd see Ultimate K's up here, but he's all the way in P9, which are very unexpected, but maybe this track just not working for him. Another thing I need to mention as well is a lot of the drivers, especially when it wasn't raining, said they were struggling with tyre wear. So whether that's going to come into effect and whether people might go for softs, but I heard that some people complaining that the hards just were not the tyre to be on. The lights are gonna go out and we're gonna be going on to the formation lap.
That is pretty interesting, though. I mean, if they're already complaining about the tires in the dry, how bad is it gonna get during the wet? So that's a big wild card there. I can tell you as well, Tomahawks is gonna want to get past RuneLink as quickly as possible, because the last thing he wants is to be in another big long protrude battle and get taken out by 3 different people again. So he definitely has something to prove by winning this race and breaking away from the pack. Generally, he's had pretty good qualifying pace, but the race pace just hasn't been there due to varying circumstances, and Veilside definitely a candidate for the win as well, not having had the most luck this season either. Of course, Gillish, as you said, in Long Beach, absolutely stormed through the field after the final safety car, may well try to do the same again tonight. It kind of all depends on what happens to these gaps, so yeah.
Something I have to mention as well is, I don't know if this was just me, but did RuneLink go before the lights went out?
I don't think so.
I couldn't help. I thought he.
There's no penalty.
No penalty, so I guess maybe a bit of a desync again. But for me, it was
possible.
Still 3 red lights, and he moved them like, no, don't do this, don't do this. But
well, I just hope the position indicator stays functional tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it only normally happened on ovals, so hopefully we won't have to worry as we see the cars line up double file in Sector 3, and RuneLink said, oh my god, he does have the drive-through, and that's
Why
RuneLink.
Didn't that show up in the menu?
So
well, either way, it seems like Tomahawks is going to be leading this race, so that is a dream scenario for him.
Okay, so as a surprise, it's Tomahawks running away straight away already from the pack. It's quite an early start, as we got all the drivers barreling into turn 1. Is everyone going to keep it clean? Very close between some drivers, going 2 by 2 through this first corner. As you see RuneLink as well leaving the pit lane. He's luckily only come out P13 and not at the back of the grid, so hopefully he can make his way back up. But the first P1 and P2 technically have just been absolutely yeah, it's been an interesting one before the race even started.
That is true, and Cuckoo is already looking very, very hungry for that P2 position. They were practically side by side in Sector 1. Veilside's really going to want to pick up the pace and try to stay closer to Tamba, who's already pulling away 1.5 seconds ahead of P2. That is the best scenario you could have possibly hoped for. RuneLink at the moment still out there losing positions. A ton of people missed the corkscrew.
That's a lot of drivers off. I don't know if that's a safety car, but there's
Eisenshank facing the wrong way.
I mean, there were lots of cars off. I don't know if that's a safety car, though.
Oh, that is painful. And yeah, it is a safety car.
So just like that, in lap 1, there is a... Let me bring that up. Oh, no, it's not working. Okay, I've got to make sure that works later. But yeah, that is extremely unfortunate that that has occurred.
Yeah, we're seeing 4 people coming into the pits. One of them, unfortunately, is Escher, so despite that good qualifying, not a good start to their race. Runelink, despite having to go through the pit lane during the race start, has still somehow ended up ahead of Gillish. So Gillish earning quite a few positions there. He's passed half the grid. Oh my goodness, that was some heavy contact there with, who was that? I think that was Shad who had contact with someone else. Maybe it was Desync. Not quite sure yet, but yeah, you don't want to see that under safety car conditions.
Yeah.
Or any kind of conditions, but especially not in the safety car. But yeah, as I was saying, Gillish has overtaken about half the grid, and a quarter of that was in the pit lane, and another quarter on track. So a fairly decent start from him, but still has to try and get past Runelink, one of his main rivals for tonight.
Something I'm just going to quickly do, so sorry to the viewers, but I do just have to quickly reset something on my computer so that my stream can actually function. But luckily, since it's under safety car right now, not too much is going on, and if anything does happen, we will of course describe it. But yeah, Fendict as well, being the absolute Chaddy is also letting us know that Chad did appear to hit Exevious.
Alright, we're about to get underway, so if you can get that screen back right on time.
I will do so. Yes, it's working!
Alright, so Tomahawk's leading the field once again. It's going to be just a few more seconds until he hits the gas pedal. Cuckoo looking very hungry already for P2, and he's off.
Yeah, green flag racing. Lap 4, and they're all off again. Cuckoo absolutely on the aggression. We also got Fennec behind, poking his nose down the inside, almost getting it stuck there. And definitely Cuckoo leaving the door open. And someone else on the attack is Ultimate K's, who was originally in P9, in P7 behind Svi. If he can get past Svi, that'll be P4, 5, and 6 for the Moisty Scuderias.
Oh, as there's definitely some action going on here. I think these 3 teammates want to make it a whole team formation, so they're going to try and get past Svi there in P6. Interesting to see what kind of tactics they can unfold from that kind of position. In the meantime, though, it seems like... okay, camera is glitched. Let me try and find the leader. Tomahawk's leading this race. Not quite pulling away as quickly from Veilside as before, but Cuckoo, unfortunately, not being able to capitalize on that safety car, remaining in P3. Escher has crashed.
That's trouble.
That is indeed trouble. I don't know why the game told me that was Escher. We also have a DNF, as yeah, that is the side effect of not having a rear wing there. Not sure who we lost, though. Was it Jedlin? I think Jedlin's out of the race.
No, that is extremely unfortunate, considering the fact that he, going into this race, was second place in the driver's standings.
Ooh, Speed trying to go around the outside of Eddie, but nothing quite doing there, and now he's part of a very, very tight team sandwich.
Yeah, Eddie leaving him the bare minimum room. He's obliged to, but that was a squeeze. But Svi going all the way around the outside there. I believe he would have turned on push to pass. That was a great overtake from Svi up into P5.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised Eddie let that one slide as Veilside is off the track.
Hopefully...
That's Veilside from P2 down to P7. I don't know if he has damage, but he is losing positions like crazy.
Oh... Yeah, contact as well between Runelink. So the people who was going to technically... Veilside, who was technically going to start P1, and Runelink, who started P1 but then did a drive-through even before the race had started.
Oh, that's a very naughty look from Runelink down the inside of Veilside there. Veilside maybe has damage, could be slowing him down, and Runelink's not going to spend a single second waiting for it. Gillish, though, is in P7. He's gotten past Runelink.
Yeah, going into this corner, I believe I saw Ultimate K's go wide as well, so that could have left him potentially compromised.
Oh, barely saved the rear end there for Runelink.
Yeah, as I think maybe a small team game might be going on where Veilside is trying to hold up Runelink. to help Shad potentially pass him.
It is quite wild indeed, but I think for P2 there's some more action as Fennec is now closing up on Cuckoo for that position. Tomahawk's just disappearing into the distance, doing all he has to do to keep that car in a race-winning position. So let's just go on board with Fennec for now.
Yeah, Fennec all up behind Cuckoo. And whether he can pass them potentially this lap, but the best overtaking opportunity, obviously, into the hairpin here, but also the most dangerous, without a doubt.
Oh, that's a wide entry from Cuckoo, and that's not going to give them the best exit.
Yeah, Cuckoo's going to be wanting to make it down the inside. Oh, God, I've got to quickly go on mute. Sorry.
Yeah, seemed like Cuckoo somehow making that car the entire track wide, but now going wide in turn 1. That gives Fennec a chance around the outside. No, not quite yet. Fennec still hunting for that second position. Not giving up. You can definitely see the dirty air is not making it easy on these guys.
And I'm back and checking the chat. We got some supporters for Kays, and
okay, yeah, Kays is in the pits. I don't know what happened there, but that is his race. Not quite over potentially, because we may see more safety cars, but it's definitely given a significant blow to his well, point scoring chances. Even that is a very, very bad thing for him.
Yeah, just being told that Gillis and Kays actually collided in a potential incident, so that could potentially be one for the tickets.
I wonder if that's given Gillish any damage, because he's got Runelink on his rear now and he's going defensive into the final corner.
Yeah, Runelink's going to be wanting to get that exit out of the corner into turn 1. It doesn't seem he's got as good as the exit as Gillis, but you're right, if Gillis has damage, that's going to compromise him not only through the corners but through the straights as well, and he's going to be losing time everywhere.
And in the meantime, seems like there's quite a nice side-by-side bit of action going on for P10 with Michael, Ellie, and 3 wide out of turn 1.
Yeah, Michael giving that up, not wanting to go 3 wide out of the corner.
Side.
But Xevious trying to keep it around the outside. I don't know who that is actually.
Oh my goodness.
I think my game might be... is that Ellie?
This is a fight with Xevious, Ellie, Michael, and Shad, and this is incredibly, incredibly tight. Fennec has dropped off a little bit from Cuckoo in P2, so that fight is on hold for now. Runelink still very, very close to Hammond, but I think this is the fight to be in.
Oh, contact!
That's why. Just sent it a little bit too hard into the corkscrew. That's undoubtedly gonna have given at least Michael some wing damage, so that is unfortunate. That's wow, someone's getting forced onto the other layout.
Yeah, someone completely getting shoved off. Shad being
being absolutely shafted and now stuck on the gravel.
I would say that is a textbook explanation of pushing someone off the track. That is very unfortunate, Shad. He was left absolutely no space and just forced onto the gravel.
Yeah, I can guarantee that the stewards will enjoy having a look at that one, as you don't force someone onto a completely different track layout, even if there's some asphalt. Oh, Gillish! Gillish is off! Oh, he's managed to do a 360 and keep it on track, but that has cost him time.
Yeah, definitely trying to do some Max Verstappen 360s there.
I think Keza from the back of the grid may have cursed him from a distance. As battles are still raging on, this one for P10 with Kunishek and Eisenschenk. This battle, these guys not quite giving up just yet. I think Eisenschenk is new to this battle, as we had a crash earlier, but yeah, Xevious has gotten away from these guys now.
Yeah, and I believe the looking at the driver standings as it stands,
I see what you did there.
The top from P2 to P8, there is only about 15 to 20 points separating the entirety of that. So it's all for play for that second place position right now in the driver standings.
Yeah, definitely something to look out for towards the end of this race. Who's going to be able to clinch the best of the rest? Oh, as that is Michael going wide again. He has not pitted, so that's going to be probably due to some car damage.
Yeah, something I'm curious is we're expected to see some wet weather, and I'm just wondering, when is it going to come in, and how is it going to affect strategy tonight?
Oh, that seemed like Svi had to slam on the brakes there in order to not get absolutely murdered by the auto spin curbs, and that has compromised his attack on Fennec and put Eddie right on the back of him.
I mean, I have to,
there's someone else off too. Wait, who is that? That was Veilside behind, I think.
Oh, so lots of people maybe starting to lose that grip, starting to feel.
Wait, no, that couldn't have been Veilside because he's just improved on his personal best. I think the game is playing tricks on us, as that is a floating trouble entering the pits.
But he's, well, floating for you, not for me.
Oh, well, that's some more discrepancies, I guess, as it's getting very, very close now for P4. Actually, Eddie's gotten past... Wait, no, Runelink is now on the back of Eddie.
Yeah, and Runelink, he's definitely had to recover from that sad mistake at the start.
And it seems like Tomahawks has not had the best of laps. He's lost about a second to Cuckoo on the previous lap, so I'm not sure if he had an incident or if he's just trying to be a bit more careful, but that gap has started to close a little bit. We're about to see the times for this lap come in, so maybe this lap's going to be a bit better. Just have to wait and see. It's going to be a 1:08.7. I just got to wait for Cuckoo to cross that same line. A 1:09.2, so that gap is growing again. I think Tombox may have just had a small mistake there.
Yeah, I've got to give it to the drivers, though. It's 12 laps through, and they're still, both those drivers there, still only 2/10 off their lap time, as we see Eisenschenk box. And I wonder, is this for damage, or could this be potentially for strategy at lap 12?
Seems a little early for strategy, if you ask me, but who knows? I think it's definitely the first person to pit outside of the safety car that doesn't seem to have incredible amounts of visual damage, so
that was for if he did have damage, that was surprisingly quick, but I think that was an actual strategy call.
We'll just have to wait and see, as it does seem like some drivers will be staying on the same tire even when the rain decides to hit, so that'll be interesting to see how the cars handle there. But let's just go on board with Runelink now, of course, starting from pole, I believe, and then dropping down and working his way back up through the field.
Yeah, and he's done an absolutely mega job, but he's now met his next opponent, Eddie, and whether he can do the same thing he's been doing to the rest of the grid, it's all up to the pad driver Eddie, so hopefully we'll get that later.
As Keza now finally approaching some other cars, he's fighting Diener for P16. And that is not a car who's on the same lap right ahead of them. I think that might be trouble, and it is.
Yeah, and hopefully that won't cause too much.
Oh, as trouble has a massive lockup there and makes a huge smoke screen into the corkscrew, which isn't going to help his or anyone else's chances of getting the best line out of there.
Diener having a little bit of a moment halfway through the corner too. I'm just thinking, when is Trouble actually going to get out the way of these I mean, I guess we've just found out. And
yeah, I think that's involuntarily, but definitely Kazel now looking for an overtake around the outside going into turn 1. Is he going to switch lines? He's looking for it.
He deciding to stay behind, but braking later, trying it round the outside. I'd be surprised if he'd be able to pull it off this move, but we've seen how quick Ultimate Case can be sometimes, but no, just not able to make it in turn 1. But is he going to be able to look? He's definitely trying to look through this next corner, extremely close, deciding to pull out his nose, otherwise he would have pit maneuvered. But they're side by side, coming to this next corner. Can he go around the outside? Yes, he can.
Yeah, Diener doing his best to defend that position there, but ultimately not having the speed going into the more high-speed sections. But very, very nice defense and clean overtake from these two drivers, as Trouble's camera is broken. So we'll switch over to Fennec, who's still not too far behind Cuckoo, and Runelink still chasing down Eddie for P4.
Now, I don't know if this was just me, but I swear...
It's raining.
Yeah, I swear I saw a drop of rain just flick on... Yeah, there it is! I definitely wasn't going crazy, but the rain is starting to come down at lap 14. It's extremely light so far, but we've seen how light rain can affect some races. Sometimes it can be really light, and sometimes it can be almost medium rain.
I think it may definitely spice up some of these battles, because Fennec's been stuck behind Cuckoo for a while, Runelink behind Eddie, so we may see some different lines coming out, some different overtaking tactics as the track gets less and less grip, and of course the tires aren't getting any younger either, so it's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, if people pit, if they pit for the same tires, or if they just stay out on the same tires, we just have to wait and see, as they're not too far off of their personal bests actually at this point.
Yeah, some drivers as well saying that finally enough the rain actually helped them get a little bit quicker, since it actually helped them cool their tires. Fennec has got quite the run off the corner compared to Cuckoo. Does he look for a move extremely close going into the section here, the corkscrew section? Cuckoo getting a bit of wheel spin, and you can see that the watermarks as well starting to show up on the I don't know what that screen's called in front of them, the windshield. I'm just gonna go with that. And Cuckoo making a mistake. Can that lead Fennec to potentially look for a move down the inside? Is he going to turn on that push to pass?
I think that Cuckoo has turned on that push to pass, as I don't think...
Oh, extremely enough contact between the two drivers.
Yeah, he's gonna have to let Cuckoo back through if that wasn't desync, which you never know with this game. But yeah, definitely not the kind of push to pass that we want to see around here. And I do think Cuckoo was using push to pass, because that was a pretty terrible exit, and despite that they got a pretty good run down the main straight, as we've had Runelink pit as the rain starts to hit a bit harder. Michael, his teammate, doing the same, so we'll have to see if this strategy will benefit these guys. And that has actually defused the battle for P4, so Eddie completely on his own now. But there is still quite a bit of fighting going on here for P9.
Yeah,
P8 rather, with Xevious and Kunishek.
Yeah, they don't look like teammates, but they are teammates. The pink livery and the blue livery of Team... I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure Team and Matt.
Oh, hold on. Cuckoo is now getting approached by Eddie, so that may well be some the consequence of the damage of whatever happened in turn 1, because that is quite the sudden drop off in pace. I mean, that's a 111.7 for Cuckoo. That's not a very good lap at all.
Yeah, and hopefully it isn't too much damage, but if they do need be, I do think it would be around time to pit stop, since a lot of people now have potentially gone for early stops. But
I think we've only seen a few people in so far. I think the majority is still waiting it out, seeing what they can do. Runelink has pitted again. Oh no.
Ooh.
Oh, he's lost his rear wing.
Lost
He's
the
had
rear.
a crash.
That is very unfortunate for the Arrows McLaren driver there.
I mean, that has massive ramifications on the fight for the lead. Runelink is not going to win this race unless we see at least another 1 or 2 safety cars. So that is very dramatic. That puts him behind Keza, who's down in P15. So yeah, that is one contender out of this fight.
Fun fact, these two drivers here actually fighting for P2 in the driver standings. And I think if Eddie can make this move, that could actually enable him to overtake Cuckoo in the standings to steal away that P2.
Yeah, Cuckoo not quite the strongest in that final corner, shipping the position there, as we see someone going wide. I'm not sure who that is, but now Escher looking to make a move on Gillish, so Gillish not quite having that much pace at the moment either.
Yeah, to be honest,
when the rain's really pelting it down at the moment.
Yeah, on the start finish straight, it is absolutely abysmal. I'm very much getting scared for some of these drivers, because it's supposed to come in the middle section of the race.
Yeah, you're
and it
right.
came. I've got to mention, it came kind of early than I expected, and it's a bit more heavier than I expected as well.
And that looks like slicks are staying on this car as predicted by some of the other drivers. Now Escher still looking to make a move on Gillish, so Gillish may be something wrong with his car, or just not a fan of these conditions, struggling down in P8. His last lap time was a 1:20.6. That has to have been a spin.
Yeah, some more information that I've just found out is the fact that Runelink, funny enough, getting
that's
both
some
drivers.
interesting lines there from both of these guys. As Cuckoo has now come into the pits. Yeah, you were mentioning Runelink apparently getting curbed and even flipped upside down, so thank goodness He's got a reset button, as we've seen a couple of people lacking that, ending up with the DNF because of it. And Eisenchenk reportedly with a 10-second penalty, so we're just going to quickly check on that. And yes, he does have one.
Yeah, unfortunate for the Team Treehugger driver. He's just got to push on this race, and yeah, very unfortunate.
I'll tell you who's definitely looking to have a bit more fortune now, though, is Escher looking to recover some of those positions lost earlier in the race. Gillish looking as weak as he ever has in this season. Tomba now pitting from the lead, so that is a very interesting strategy call there. Gotta wonder, are the other guys in the top 5 gonna follow suit?
Yeah, Fennec going for a potential another lap, not following him in. So maybe Tomba trying to get rid of that idea of getting undercut, but Fennec is going to be taking the race lead, and Eddie as well. So Fennec and Eddie, both in the same team, taking P1 and 2 as it currently stands.
Yeah, this is a dream scenario for Tomahawks. I mean, he's just come out. That car is going to be in pretty good shape, and he is in an easy P3 position. There is some traffic ahead of him, but not really any people that'll have to fight him for position.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned right now, Tomahawks does potentially have this race in the bag. This rain could do anything. It's very, very much a driving on slicks during wet.
Oh, Escher's absolutely dropped it, so no potential overtake on Gillish anymore. That is off the track now, getting overtaken by Michael in P10. So Michael doing a pretty good job to recover from his earlier shenanigans as well, up into the top 10.
Eisenchenk closing behind, so whether he can. As
Fennec in the pits.
Yeah, and his teammate taking over the current lead of the race. But Tomahawks still, though, I believe is going to be a pit stop ahead of them. And this rain is not stopping anytime soon.
As, that's Escher going off again. So that is Gillish's teammate Eisenchenk now getting an overtake done on that pink car. And Escher losing more positions. Oh, they've not kept that out of the wall, have they?
I think at this point we might be experiencing some aquaplaning. I mean, the rain does seem to be lightening up in this Sector 3 area. Probably the most dangerous area. I don't see
any puddles, but that's definitely been enough to send Keza now up into that P13 position in just a few moments, I'm sure.
Yeah, and Escher boxing, as I think he did go into the wall, so he's going to have to get his car checked for repairs. But
now Gillish approaching Cuckoo for P7.
Yeah, what has happened to Cuckoo? It's very unfortunate to see them up in that P2 position.
Well, Cuckoo's pitted now, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're about 6 seconds behind Fennec. Now Eddie is coming into the pits. That leaves Tomba out back into the lead. Veilside still a good corner and a straight behind.
Did
Tomba's
you say
got some traffic though?
Did you say 6 seconds behind Fennec? I mean, when they originally pitted, this isn't just me, but they were a lot closer than that.
It's up to 7 seconds now, even 8.
Wow, so Cuckoo's either lost some confidence in this rain weather, or Fennec has absolutely come to bits with it.
I mean, I assume that whatever setup you've got for the dry on this track might not quite do as well in the wet, so that may explain the pace differential on some drivers in these conditions. They're going to be hoping for some sunshine very, very soon. As Gillish now in the pits, Keza might come out ahead. I think he will.
I must say as well, is it just me, but oh my god, it looks so bad, but I haven't actually noticed the sun does seem to actually starting to be slowly shining back. Whether this is a small cloud, I do wonder, and I wonder if the drivers will be able to maybe cope with these constant changing conditions. You can definitely see from the windshield that there's different, in different parts of the track at different rain levels, and these drivers are going to have to change completely. Oh, that's Veilside going extremely wide there. Exevious and Fennec behind, so they're going to be chasing.
Oh yeah, this is going to turn into an almighty fight for P2, it seems. These guys all very, very close together.
Oh, Fennec drifting the first corner. And
absolutely
Xevious,
saving it, as now it looks like Xevious is going to go around the outside of Veilside. He's attempting it.
extremely close, but that leaves them vulnerable to Fennec, who's going to try and do a move as well. But
Very
still,
clean.
they're too wide. As I think, yeah, you could. Oh my god, this is extremely close between Xevious and Veilside, as Fennec trying to slide it up the inside as well to pass Veilside, and I think he has taken that opportunity, seen that Xevious made it down the inside, and has followed him through.
Wow, Veilside getting absolutely mugged here. Eddie next in line to take a position off of him. That is not a very good showing from him. Thankfully keeping it clean, but that car doesn't seem too fast in these conditions.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, could it be potentially due to ride height? Because I know for a fact that whenever it rains,
Always
ride
coming
height,
into the pits.
I wonder where will he come out. I mean, if he hadn't pitted earlier, I hope it isn't for damage. But if he hadn't pitted earlier, then I wonder where's he going to come out in comparison to all the other drivers.
I'm not sure, but I do know that Gillish is going to be very, very eager to get past Ultimate K's. Ultimate K's not one of the slowest drivers, but also not having the pace today. So I think the longer Gillish spends behind the Cheese Man, the longer his race is going to be compromised, as Veilside comes out of the pits, I think just behind Svi.
Yeah, you can actually see, yeah, Speed just ahead of us. And coming out is going to be right behind him. But Gillis is right behind, and now side by side with Ultimate
Case has
K's.
left him space on the inside.
And that was an amazing lunge by Gillis up into P12. Wow, that was absolute boost to the walls, I've got to say.
Yeah, it's a stunning overtake from Gillish. Not quite sure what that defense was from Ultimate Keza, though. I mean, he definitely didn't just let him go, because he put the car in a fairly challenging position, but also not dedicating enough resources to defend that inside line, letting Gillish get through. Maybe he's hoping to benefit a little bit from Slipstream or to just follow him through some traffic, but yeah, oh yeah, he's actually getting very close now, looking for a way to get that position back immediately.
I mean, that being said, going into that corner before that, two corners before the corkscrew, it did seem like Ultimate K's just stayed behind. So it could just be the fact that Ultimate K's wants to actually move back into the points, even though he is the championship leader. Oh no! Fennec into the wall. That is going to be damage 100%. He just lost it. I thought he gained, got it back, but he then lost it a second time.
Yeah, I think that's one of those cases where the car starts to lose traction. You counter steer to save it, and you end up doing something even worse to it than you'd been saving it from. So that is definitely going to be a visit to the pit lane for Fennec. Very unfortunate. I think they're going to come out well behind Keza, as Keza has actually made up quite a bit of ground on these guys. May still have an extra pit stop to do, though. We'll have to just wait and see. But Ellie and RuneLink now pretty close as well, as I believe they're getting lapped by Tomba and Xevious in the pits.
Now, I'm wondering, can Ellie potentially use Tomba to get past the car ahead? Because the car ahead's going to have to slow down. Could lead them compromised to them behind. As we see, yeah, a lot of two drivers into the pit lane. Hopefully both for strategy.
Definitely seems like those are once again slick tires, so we're about halfway through this race. No one going for the wet tire or for anything that'll help them in these conditions. They're gonna have to try and tiptoe around the track as it gets progressively worse. Still don't see any puddles, but it's gotta be slippery out there.
Yeah, and it's yeah, with this build up of rain over such a long time, it might be light rain, but I mean, you can literally see on the track there is sort of a dry line.
Fennec has not pitted.
Hey?
He is limping around the track with what I'm sure would be a car with some severe internal organic damage, but it seems to still be working even if it's at a slower pace. Kunishek now coming into the pits. I think he may just want to extend this until his next strategic pit stop.
Yeah, potentially, but he's got Eisenshank behind him, putting the pressure on, going into this last corner. You can see how close Eisenshank gets on the brakes, but whether he can get the exit of this corner, it's going to be very much who has the better throttle control since the rain. But Eisenshank having an amazing exit, boost button on, going into the first corner, Fennec
Oh, I think
staying ahead
he
of
wanted
him.
to try a switchback there, but just Fennec taking up too much of that middle of the track.
Yeah, Fennec with a great defense. Going to the second corner, Eisenschlack's going to be trying to look absolutely everywhere. Yeah, extremely close between them, and it seems to be that in some places of the track, the rain seems to be giving off a bit. Of course, not talking about here now, where it seems to be at the heaviest.
Give us more rain.
Going into the braking zone, is anyone gonna outbrake themselves? And I've just noticed as well, looking at the green stuff, there's loads of puddles and stuff on it. If you touch that, you won't have to worry about the Sector 3 curbs. You'll be spinning off by yourself.
I'm gonna have to pay attention to that because I don't think I've quite seen those on my screen yet, but definitely an interesting battle that we're looking at the moment as Svi now comes into the pits from right behind these guys. The gaps on track have gotten a little bit bigger, so I think this is about the closest we're going to get to a fight for now. But as the conditions keep on changing, I'm sure that's not going to last too long. And Tomahawk's having an amazing race. He's 20 seconds ahead of the opposition. I think everyone else, or at least his main opponents, are having a very similar race to the ones he's had so far this season, and he's just absolutely killing it out in front.
Honestly, I mean, if you look on the map on the right, most of the drivers on track, except for 3 of them, are shown as back markers, which I think is very much a show of Tomba's strength right now on the circuit.
That can be good. Gillish is already in again, so that puts him way towards the back of the grid.
That is a bent front wing if I've ever seen one on that car.
His teammate still out there fighting for P5 with Fennec.
Ooh! Able to... I'm surprised he wasn't killed there going that wide, but he's gone off! No!
Yeah, it's killed his tires. Them things are going to be very dirty, and he's going to have to clean them off before he tries any more daring moves, and this gives Xevious a pretty good run on him down into turn 1, if he's got push to pass, which I'm not sure he does.
Yeah, but going into this... they could...
Oh, this is Gillish only now leaving the pit lane. He is way behind anyone else.
I mean, still P14, so still points, but definitely
actually,
not
now that you mention it, we
much.
have lost another person. We're down to 16 drivers.
Very sad for those who are DNF'd. Hopefully, it wasn't anything.
Gone but not forgotten.
But yeah, Gillis gonna be a back mark.
Yeah, he's getting lapped by Svi in P7.
I think Svi isn't going to be too happy with Gillis being in front, but I think Gillis...
Oh, he's going for it.
Letting him by. So, very, very good. I think Svi might have wanted just let him go. Oh!
Trouble, no!
If I'm not mistaken, his front wing's in the pit lane.
Yes.
So he's... Oh my god.
I'm not sure if he already had damage before coming into the pits, but he has binned it into the wall, coming into the pit lane. They've put on a new wing, at least graphically. We've lost another driver. I don't know who it is, but it was definitely someone ahead of Trouble, so that puts Trouble up into P15 overtake of the race.
Yeah, moving up to P15. Sadly, though, the back of the grid, but we still got quite a good race on our hands.
Oh, wait. Oh, no, never mind. I thought RuneLink was out, but RuneLink is still out there in P10, so fairly good position, but a minute off the race lead.
Yeah, for start...
Oh, I'll tell you who is out of the race. Ultimate Keza has left the... he's either left the session, but he's definitely left the race. He is no longer on track.
No, I mean... I don't know if there's... Oh!
Oh, what a save.
But
yeah, RuneLink definitely pushing the car. His last lap was a 1:08. That is dry weather pace. So he's definitely found something in that car to extract quite a bit of lap time now. Trying to overtake Veilside for P9. Veilside's last lap a 1:10.8. No pace whatsoever. Both quite a bit quicker than Shad ahead though. Shad only setting a 1:14 on the last occasion. Make that a 1:10. I think that may have been some sort of incident on the previous lap, but that's given RuneLink a very good run now.
Yeah, Veilside tried to move to the left to defend, but just not getting that good of a run as Runelink. I think Runelink definitely on better tyres coming into turn 1. Yeah, you can see already he's got so much more grip than Veilside, and is already starting to gain a small gap behind, and I think he's going to be looking for Shad ahead. And with 23 laps left of this race, I think he could potentially do it.
Yeah, I mean, at this rate, he may well even still be in a fight for P7 or P6 if he can keep this up. And if the guys ahead slip up even once, there's definitely that opportunity. But, yeah, with the amount of DNFs we've had, everyone's kind of starting to spread out now. So let's just take another quick look at the general order. We have Tomahawks leading this race. Not quite pulling away like he was earlier. The gap's still only 22 seconds, but last lap of 108.5, not too shabby at all. Cuckoo still holding on in P2, having an amazing race so far, with Eddie up in P3, the highest of his team, as I've finally won my Niz money there for my correct safety car prediction. Michael is up in P4. I'm not sure if he still has to do another pit stop, but that is a very, very good position for Michael. Miles ahead of his teammate Runelink as well.
Yeah, so whether Michael can hold on to that P4, I know, definitely looking at his previous places, this is definitely some interesting territory he's entered.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Fennec still in P5. I don't think he's pitted for any damage yet. Eisenchenk a little bit further behind down in P6. Not too far behind them is Svi, and as I mentioned, that is Michael coming in for another pit stop. So we'll have to wait and see if that's going to be his last one or not, because if it is, then who knows how many other people still have to make a stop as well. So that's Michael in the pits for now, but let's quickly look at the rest of the order. That's Shad in P8, Runelink getting ever closer in P9, Veilside losing a lot of time to all of these guys with a 110.7 on the last lap. Escher, a good bit down the road, setting similar lap times. Ellie also kind of in that ballpark. Gillish not setting the best laps either in P13, followed by Diener in trouble.
Yeah, and I've got to mention as well, when we passed Runelink, he looked like he was still pushing. He's definitely going to be looking.
Oh, he just set a 107 flat. That is a qualifying lap. Let's just
Oh
go on
my.
board with him for a few seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I said he was pushing. I didn't think it was going to be that much. Wow, a 107. I mean,
I think we've cursed it. That is a very much a missed apex.
But yeah, I mean, it's obvious he's pushing though. He wants to gain on the cars ahead, and I think with this amount of pace that he's got, he's gonna do it. He just needs to make sure that he can get those 107s, but
Yeah,
not
I mean,
mess up in the process.
He's going to get to P7 very, very quickly at this rate if he can manage to avoid. And yeah, as you mentioned, the green stuff looking very slippery. But he's making up loads of ground now. I think even P5 is in reach at this point, but he is coming into the pits. Why would he come into the pits when he's going that fast?
Maybe he cooked his tires on that fast lap, knowing it was his in lap. He maybe pushed as hard as he physically could.
I mean, I'd hope that that's for fuel, because those tires, if they're going that fast, they can definitely keep on going for a little while longer. So that's an end to his charge for now. That might have been a fuel stop. We've lost another driver, though.
Oh, so only 14 drivers left. Feels like, sadly, disconnections are quite high tonight, as Svi gets a bit too friendly with the gravel there. But he's definitely gaining on Eisenchenk ahead.
Oh yeah, they are actually quite close, so I'll just cut away from Eddie again and focus on Svi making inroads on Eisenchenk, definitely setting better lap times there. Lap times seem to be very, very inconsistent between the drivers, as, yeah, Eisenchenk coming into the pits. I'm sure he's going to be setting some fast ones after coming out.
I mean, what I've noticed is the rain seems to be, without that in my mind, lightening up quite a bit. And as I said earlier, where some drivers actually said sometimes the rain helped them get better lap times.
That is interesting, as there is a car with no rear wing by the name of
Trouble again.
So Trouble definitely promoting the wings manufacturing industry tonight. But
He
what
needs
I
a Red
actually
Bull.
switched this car for, yeah, definitely needs a Red Bull there. Tomahawks setting 116.9. That is almost halved his gap to Cuckoo for P1.
I mean, if he's I wouldn't expect him to consistently be doing 116s, but if he is...
No, it's definitely been an incident, because that gap, as we've just lost another driver. Yeah, that is trouble out of this race, so I think he might not have liked that wing joke, but regardless, next season will be without wings, so that'll be a fun one indeed. But yeah, down to 13 drivers now. Tomahawks cannot keep making mistakes like that if he wants to keep this lead.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and you know, it looks like he has it in the bag essentially at one point where he was basically an entire pit stop away, but as you said, if he keeps on making these mistakes, Cuckoo could very much be in contention for the lead.
As I seem to be in oh, that's another mistake from Tomba. I think that might have been desync.
Yeah, I agree with you. That was abnormally going off the track there.
Yeah, some comments coming in from our league host saying that the servers are literally shitting themselves and that there's a lot of lag going on at the moment. So fortunately, the action still looks fairly decent, but drivers definitely afraid of DNFing at this stage in the race. And also saying that GT4s do have wings, but they must be very, very tiny.
Yeah, at this point though, it seems to be who has the stronger Wi-Fi rather than who has the stronger pace. But it luckily hasn't affected the top battle too much, as oh, wheel side off and into the wall. That is
definitely not the side that Veilside wanted to be on, so that's going to be another trip to the pit lane as Fennec is pitting.
Yeah, looking at all the people around him, I wonder, is he going to be able to get ahead of Michael or Eisenshank?
I think the rain stopped.
Yes, the rain has stopped, but the track's still a bit moist. So whether these drivers can now start setting faster lap times. I mean, Tomahawk's setting a 107.9, currently the fastest lap at the moment. Whether anyone can start to reel in any drivers because of this change, with 24 laps. Is it 24 laps? I'm gonna go with no. That doesn't seem right.
I think it's 26 laps. Wait, no. Well, there's a lot of laps left.
There's a lot of laps. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Veilside here, as we both really suck at math, coming out in P12. Gillish is actually the last place driver in this race, which is not something I ever thought I would say halfway through a race, as we've just lost another driver. I think that might have been... I don't know who that was.
Hopefully not a front runner. Looking, I don't know who that was either, but it seems to be tonight is I mean, it's Ellie. It's Ellie
out of this race, yeah.
I mean, of course it's Halloween. People are spookily being taken to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, that's turning into quite an unpredictable one, but as the track conditions improve, I can tell you that the remaining 12 drivers will definitely be hoping there's no...
Oh.
Yeah,
I've just learned something. It's worse than a disconnect. It's the blue screen of death she's received. Oh, God.
Aye, that is definitely not what you want to see, as Fennec there experimenting with track limits on what I assume are new tires, because that was actually quite a nice recovery there. Only lost about a second to his PB, so definitely in a position to keep on chasing Michael there for P6.
Yeah, and hopefully he can do it over the couple laps yet, but...
I'm telling you though, if we see any more mistakes from Tomba, Cuckoo does have a chance to win this race. They've been setting some fairly similar lap times, way faster than whatever Eddie's doing down in P3. I mean, Eddie may well get caught by Svi with those kinds of lap times. He said a 114.1. I hope that was because of an incident. Probably was, but you'll just have to wait and see, as Tomba, Cuckoo, and Svi all setting 108s. Tomba coming out of the pits with a 120.
Yeah, Judlin's saying F1 V10 levels of reliability, which is quite funny.
Very tight for the lead here.
Whoa, can Cuckoo do it? Yes,
Cuckoo
they
does.
can.
Cuckoo Cuckoo takes over the lead from Tomba, but Tomba on what are probably fresh tires. At least I hope, because that is a very slow-looking car.
Yeah. Oh no.
Has he had the fuel bug?
I'm thinking the way he's driving, I think AI's taken over. Oh. No, yeah. Oh my god.
Tomba has the fuel
He
bug.
has the fuel bug.
Oh my gosh.
No. Tomba,
This
no.
man cannot catch a break. I think for next season, I want to get a bingo card for Tomba gets bad luck at every single race, and if I can complete a line, then I'm just gonna give the man an unluckiness award, because that is just absolutely insane. He's still got enough fuel to make it one lap, I think, but this has destroyed his race.
I think genuinely we should create a bingo card and just all the drivers of the league, and whoever receives one, we then stamp it, and if we get 3 in a row or something, then we win, like, I don't know, 1,000 jelly beans, like the Overtaken.
1,000 jelly beans to be paid by MSR, but Eddie is coming into the pits with him, as is Svi. I doubt that everyone has fuel bugs, so I'm guessing this is just kind of neutralized Tomahawk's race compared to these guys, which means Cuckoo is set to win this race with a good 13 or so laps remaining.
Tomba does seem to be going a bit quicker, so I'm crossing my fingers that he has now been fueled.
As there's some people very, very close behind Shad.
As it has worked, yeah.
That is not Shad, that is someone else.
We're currently looking at Shad. I'm pretty sure that's
Veilside is the driver that came out right behind Tomba. So Tomba happy that he's not behind this kind of traffic, and this is actually an on-track fight for P11 between Gillish and Veilside. So some of the drivers who are typically at the sharp end of the grid are now fighting for what is effectively the wooden spoon, as Cuckoo now pits from the lead as well.
Yeah, and Kay's saying he feels extremely bad for Tomahawks, but then proceeding to say, "Run, little bird, run!" So clearly wanting Cuckoo to, Gillis playing with fire with those curbs right there.
As Tomba now coming through the final corner, as Cuckoo's about to enter the first. I don't think Tomba's going to be able to catch Cuckoo unless Cuckoo makes some mistakes, because their pace has been very similar. But never say never, because this race has shown us quite a few crazy things so far.
Yeah, with about 12, if I'm not mistaken, 12 laps remaining. It's going to be a close one, because we've seen the pace of Tomahawks before. And whether he can do it, I mean, he was going to be...
Hold on there. Did you see Michael just eating the green stuff and really getting his tires very, very wet as he kind of runs wide into turn 1, and I think that's going to give the position to Fennec, and it does.
Yeah, Fennec definitely taking that move. Maybe Michael's tires getting a bit wet from touching the green stuff, as I definitely think it's the wettest place on the track right now, or the moistiest place.
As it should be. This is MSR after all. Final race of the season, of course, so champion of the season, Keza has DNF'd from the race, so I'm not sure if he's going to be available for interview after this one, since we didn't quite get to celebrate last time, but we'll just have to wait and see, as it does seem that Tomba is slowly catching Cuckoo by a little under a second a lap, I think.
I mean, looking at our previous lap times, Cuckoo with a 1:13, Tomahawks with a 1:08.
That's coming out of the pits, though. That's coming out of the pits.
Whoa. Don't scare me like that, Tomahawks.
And that's coming out of the bad Steam connection, so luckily no DNF there, but definitely some crazy stuff, as Keza says he will, in fact, be ready for an interview, so it's going to be a fun time there after the race, as it's getting very close here for P6 with Eisenschenk and Runelink, with Michael just behind. The whole grid.
Yeah,
is actually starting to close up here.
Yeah, as always, towards the end, I mean, at the start, of course, it's always action-packed, and towards the middle...
Actually, we did miss the overtake of Gillish on Veilside for P11.
That's unlucky we missed that. But I've noticed with a common theme with all these races is that stuff always happens at the start, and there's always something at the end as well to surprise us and to bring us back into the race. Eddie getting extremely close to the gravel there, going into the corkscrew. Will he look up the inside? Extremely close going down the corkscrew. A lot of people definitely scrubbing their rears out of the corkscrew, as there is a lot of tire marking there. Oh,
that's Eisenschenk taking too much curb.
Luckily,
Keeps it on track, but that's Michael coming into the pits again, so that is the end of his competitive race, I think. That's a very early extra pit stop for him. Not quite sure what's going on there, but this fight does continue on for P6 with Runelink, Eisenschenk, and Eddie all fairly close behind.
Jedlin in the chat saying 5 seconds, 10 laps. You can do it, Tomba.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, he's in P2, only 5 seconds behind now. Kuko on that previous occasion, setting a 109.3, taking a lot of curb there. Tomba with a 107.7, that might be even faster on this occasion. Let's just stay with him until he crosses the line.
Oh,
drifting that final corner.
I mean, we've seen him lagging about, but I don't think that was lag that time. Well, maybe it was a bit,
down
but
to
like
under 4 seconds.
Wow, Thomas. I mean, Cuckoo with a.
I think that might be because of turn 1 and how it counts the lap time, but still, yeah, definitely gaining ground on Cuckoo. They're in the same shot there briefly.
Yeah, I mean, Cuckoo last lap with a 109. Tom Holtz with a 108.
We're down to 11.
What is
that
going?
Is Veilside's out of the race.
What is going on tonight with DNFs? It seems like the internet wants us to be shut down. Give it a second and I'll disappear. It's going to be really funny if it happens now. But
then I'll finally get all the stream revenue. Let's go. As Escher now coming into the pits. That's another late stop, and at the moment, Tomba definitely starting to really make mincemeat out of the gap. It's come down to 4 seconds now, and I don't think that's a Trek fluke on this occasion. Definitely seems to be an actual 4 seconds now.
Yeah, so going into the final corner, he can definitely see Cuckoo in that blue crew car ahead. So whether he's going to be able... I mean, he's definitely on target to overtake. And I'd say give it about 4 laps and we could see these two battling to the end.
Shad with another late stop. Only 9 laps left to go, pitting from P3. So that puts Svi up into the top 3 positions, but Fennec has been catching him. He's going to have to catch him by more than a couple of tenths a lap, though, if he wants to get into that top 3. Another person starting to get very close is, well, Runelink was getting close to Shad, but that's because of the pit stop. Of course, Eddie is approaching Eisenschenk.
Yeah, so another battle we need to look out for is I think someone's leaving the pit lane and they're going to be going almost side by side. So Eddie just making it ahead of Shad, but Shad's going to be on nicer tyres. But whether they're going to need time to maybe warm up, I don't know if there are tyre blankets. So whether he's going to need some time to warm up his tyres, I don't know. But he's definitely clinging on to the back of Eddie. These two extremely close now. I'll tell
you who's definitely going to be pooping bricks at this point, though. That is going to be Cuckoo, because there's only a couple laps remaining. But that gap is coming down by almost a second every lap. It's down to less than 4 now.
Yeah, but... oh, Shad and Eddie even closer. And is Shad going to look for a move down the inside? I would highly doubt it. And I think at this point in the race as well...
as you see some of the spray getting onto the windshield there, so the off-track is still very wet. You don't want to touch any of that.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to expect to want to go down the inside with all honesty. Oh, he's... oh, that was him touching a puddle without a doubt there. But I was just about to say, the inside, I don't think is actually going to be the best place to try and do an overtake. I think the out... oh, my God. Extremely close. Oh, there's almost contact between them. Eddie's
got the speed. Is he going to be able to do it around the outside with the extra grip?
Yeah, no, there's still a bit of tire banging. Eddie back just ahead, but they're too wide going in, and that's Shad off the track.
No. That is an absolute shame. It may take Shad a while to catch Eddie again after that. Eisenschenk's going to be loving that because they were actually approaching him quite rapidly until that fight got extra spicy. As Fennec still closing in on Svi by quite a bit on that occasion. He's only about 2 seconds behind now.
Yeah, finding up, I think that was his fastest lap time of the race.
Oh, and hold on, this is Tomba within 3 seconds of the lead now, but there is traffic.
Yeah, that's...
Well, and actually, they're going side by side here pretty much. Shad has gotten past Eddie. What on earth has Eddie done?
Ooh, so whether... I think Eddie probably making a mistake as big as Shad's there. Whether they can bring it back, as I see in the chat, go RuneLink, as RuneLink in P5. I don't know if he's going to be gaining on anyone.
Not at the moment, but I can tell you who is gaining, and that is Tomahawk, still gaining even more within 2 seconds of the lead now. 5 laps remaining. No more traffic separating these guys. It's a straight fight to the end, as the final few positions are actually getting closer as well, so that's going to be another good wooden spoon fight if I've ever seen one. And Eisenschenk, oh, as Fennec is pitting. That is not good.
With 6 laps remaining, that... I hope that isn't for damage, but if that's for a fuel stop, maybe he's miscalculated actually when he was going to pit and has realized that he does actually need to pit a bit earlier than he would have expected. I mean, later than he...
In the meantime, let's stay on board with Tomba as he gets ever closer to the lead. Bit of a lockup there from Cuckoo. That won't be extending the gap at all. Of course, though, as Tomba gets closer and as the game lags more and more, there will be more dirty air, so I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get super close right off the bat, but oh, if Cuckoo's taking those kinds of lines, then he's definitely got a shot.
Though I've also noticed in that last corner, it seems to be that Tomba is getting massive sliding through it, but is somehow drifting the car through.
What on earth is Fennec still doing in the pit lane? He has gone from P4 to last place.
He's just chilling. He's just hanging around.
He's thrown in the towel with about 5 laps left to go, so that is unfortunate from a very good position. That means Eddie in P7 is now the highest position member of that team.
And that's another person pitting, I believe.
That's RuneLink in the pits from P5, so that's going to cost him quite a few spots as well. But let's just keep the camera on these two for now. It's getting very, very close here. Within a second now, just 4 laps left. Fennec still in the pits.
Yeah, and Tomahawk's getting ever so closer. I said in about 4 laps time, and here 4 laps ago, and here we are, Tomahawks within a second. And whether Mia Cuckoo can keep their cool, it's all into their decision. Whether they can win, it's gonna be all up to whether they keep it cool, whether they can defend this P1 position onto lap 51. 3 laps remaining left of the race, and can Cuckoo do it? Can they get that P1 position?
I definitely think it's time to crank up the Eurobeat as the gap is starting to stay the same now. I think Tomba is struggling in the dirty air of that car, and Cuckoo not putting enough feet wrong to give Tomahawks that opportunity to overtake. So definitely keeping the head cool for now, taking a lot of curb there. They gotta watch out with that, as the gap is now down to only half a second.
I mean, something Tomahawks as well has got to consider is purely the fact that now that they're this close behind Cuckoo, they got to struggle with that dirty air, as Cuckoo's front gets a little bit off wide and Tomahawks very much lag.
Just look at the rears. I think Cuckoo's cooked the rears. Those tires have no grip left.
Yeah, but hopefully they can stay ahead, getting an equal exit to Tomahawks, but Tomahawks is going to turn on their push to pass and is going to be in that slipstream going into turn 1, still staying behind. And Cuckoo just making a small mistake there, not enough for Tomahawks to take it in the inside, but still very close to the back.
That sounded very, very wrong, as Gillish now in the pits, in P10, so a lot of late pit stops here. I'm not sure if that's just a result of how people's strategies are going, or if they've just made some miscalculations. But yeah, this fight is incredibly tight now, definitely within that 2/10 window for practically the entire lap. And
he's gone a bit wide! I don't know how he kept that amount of speed up. I thought he was lost. And he's trying down the inside. There's contact! Oh, he's off! And there's even more contact between these. Flips over. What the? Oh my god, what has happened?
Cuckoo! tell me Cuckoo has a reset button, please.
Cuckoo,
someone.
please! Just reset!
Oh,
Just
no.
reset! We'll find the button!
Oh,
This can't be how it ends! This can't be how it ends!
someone just flipped that car. I mean, we saw both cars flipped. Tomba is still in this race.
Who's in last place?
Probably not going to win it anymore, but at least he was able to reset his car.
Fennec, flip over Cuckoo. I know you're in last place, please. Oh, they did find a reset button.
Managed to flip the car now, so not sure. No. Yeah, not sure what took so long to find that button, but that is an unfortunate end to their race with just 2 laps remaining. Tomba is in the pits. Svi is gonna win this race.
Yeah, very much an unfortunate circumstance, but Svi is gonna be able to very much get it, and yeah, the leaders just taking each other out. As yeah, that was, what on earth happened there? 2 people actually fighting across the line. I believe that is Shad and Eddie. Eddie trying to go down the inside, very close on the second last lap. Can they do it there? Side by side, coming into the 3rd corner, and Eddie having to stay behind. These 2 have been at it all at the all over each other, all at the end of this race. And whether Eddie can overtake Shad again, because I believe Shad actually re-overtook. Eddie looking for that inside move, but Shad leaving absolutely no place for him to go, and Eddie's still having to stay behind, having amazing defense, and that's also going to leave them potentially vulnerable to Tomahawks behind, who has somehow repaired his car in absolutely miracle conditions, considering the fact he got flipped over.
Yeah, he's only half a minute off the lead and well within this fight for P3, surprisingly, but he's only got 1 lap left after this one, so who knows how that's going to go. But Cuckoo, unfortunately, only now leaving the pits with just Fennec behind, so that is not the achievement they were hoping for tonight. That's definitely going to be a spicy Stewart's ticket, as Eddie still chasing down Shad for P3. If Shad can hold this, that'd be a pretty amazing result, but Eddie is not going to let this one go easily.
Yeah, final lap. Eddie's going to try to put on all the aggression, but it's too much!
That puts Tomba back in P4. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, Eddie.
Yeah, and he's potentially also left vulnerable to RuneLink behind.
Oh, there's a car in the wall. That's Asher.
And that's another car joined with him. I think that's Michael.
Yes, Michael off the track as well, so that is no clue what happened there. Escher not hitting that reset button quite yet. Oh wow, that is some very nice sportsmanship there.
Yeah,
Michael trying to fix Escher's car after having it be flipped over. And Svi has won the race.
Yeah, Svi crossing the line. Who would have guessed that this race would have ended with Svi coming in P1 and Eisenschenk finishing P2, and Shad able to defend from Eddie, getting
RuneLink's gotten past Eddie as well.
Oh my god, going into the final corner. Oh my god, he's almost lost it. But yeah, RuneLink.
Can Eddie do anything? No, I don't quite think he can.
As Shad up into P2. Wait, what? Hey, what? Hey, what am I? Oh my god, Eisenschenk had a 10-second penalty.
Oh, that is right. So surprisingly, neither of the people fighting for P3 making it. Instead, Eisenschenk is in that position. Shad in P2. Svi has won this race.
What?
And,
I mean,
yeah.
I said it earlier. This has amazing starts, okay middles, but the ends, why did it end so dramatically? Why?
As Escher has managed to finish this race in an absolute carcass of a car. I mean, we saw some people fly to the back of the grid. I think we saw half the grid fly to the back of the grid, which is how people like RuneLink and Gillish have managed to still get some pretty good positions despite all the chaos. But that was literal insanity there. Unfortunately, I think what kicked that all off was Tomba just getting too desperate after the amount of bad luck he's had. I think he could have had a much safer overtake there, going for the lead. Maybe he just kind of overshot it while trying to stay behind, but that looked like an intentional move, so that may be penalized pretty harshly if he's still in next season. But Svi is your race winner, followed by Shad and Eisenschenk.
But yeah, Svi, I mean, going into this final part of this race, I don't think he expected the finishing in P1, and if he does move to the interview booth, I definitely think we have to move him in, as well as Shad and Eisenschenk. What What a way to end it. Unfortunately, Eisenshank would have finished P2 if it wasn't for a 10-second penalty, but what a wow, what a race.
I just want to mention as well, Cuckoo was upside down for probably a good half a minute, was in P10 at the after that incident, and somehow 3 people still managed to finish behind because of that extra incident.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, I've got to say. I've got to say Cuckoo would have actually ended up finishing second in the championship as well, but I think if I'm correct, I think Eddie, due to that crash, might have actually overtaken Cuckoo in the standings. I'm not certain yet, but that is extremely unfortunate. That is wow.
As we are getting some messages from drivers now saying that was the most cursed race in the history of MSR. And I mean, typically at the end of a season, you don't expect too many stewards tickets to be raised because everyone's like, we just finished the season, you know, penalties not going to do much anymore. I definitely think we're going to be seeing some penalties post-race for this one, as that was a wild conclusion to this race with the fewest finishers that we've had so far. We do have some people ready for interview, though. Svi's in there, but I'd like to bring in Cuckoo first, because that was just an insane ending to their fight for the race win.
Yeah, I completely agree as well. So let's, unfortunately, it's not going to be the normal fun Cuckoo binding ending, but it's definitely going to be us trying to work out what happened between Cuckoo and Tomahawks.
Cuckoo, welcome, and our condolences for that absolute murder of your P1 chances there. Unfortunately, also Binding isn't here with you, but can you tell us about your race?
Oh, I'm crushed, honestly. I can't say anything specific on that final incident itself. I'm still fast forwarding, but what I can say is I wasn't expecting the dive bomb at the corkscrew, and I got a dive bomb at the corkscrews.
Yeah, that's I can tell you from our perspective and seeing all the overtake, or at least most of the overtakes in this race, we were not expecting that kind of move either. Once you guys were both upside down, it took you a lot longer to flip the car back over, but you did manage to do it. So what was going on there?
My reset car button had unbound itself and I couldn't find it in the menu.
So you had to rebind it during the race?
Yeah.
Well, thank goodness this isn't PCT.
I was frantically pressing Z and yeah, just no dice. Yeah, qualifying obviously went quite well. I started 5th. I had a brilliant launch off the line. I think I jumped up to 3rd off the line after obviously RuneLink got the drive through and went to serve that, and then I just got a better jump, so I got into 3rd there. I think that became 2nd. I think Veilside spun out, and then that first stint was just sort of routine. It was very careful from me, actually. I probably could have gone faster, but I was a bit shitting myself, really. And
yeah, I remember
it seemed enough to keep it, so I just sort of drove my line. Stint 2 was the stint of dreams, to be honest. Yeah, obviously, end of my first stint, I got punted by Phoenix and dropped out of 2nd, and then I lost 3rd. The tyres just fell off a cliff after that, so I came into the box. Second stint was just the stint of dreams, honestly. The car came alive, it bit into every corner, turned in when I wanted it to. It was a bit of a pig in the dry, to be honest. I don't know what I did to it.
So the car actually, weirdly enough as it sounds, on slick tyres seemed to work more effectively.
Way better in the wet. Yeah, I was flying in the wet, and the tyres lasted forever as well. It was brilliant. I drove to fumes on that second stint because I was just going so fast on that. And then
I mean, your pace was good enough to be the only driver to really benefit from Tomahawks getting the fuel bug, and you ended up holding on up until the end of the race almost.
Yeah, he did that, and I sort of realised. I sort of realised, hang on a minute, is that Tomba? And then I realised, yes, it is Tomba. I came out the pits, you know, I had like, 15 laps to go. It was like 10-second gap between the two of us. So, as far as that goes, I was sort of like, it is Tomba. He is really quick. I mean, I was kind of keeping an eye on the stopwatch. I was trying to go as fast as I can, but he was taking like a second a lap out of me every lap. up until he got onto the back of me, and then, you know, if you're that close coming onto the main straight and everything, I don't understand the corkscrew move myself. I mean, I'm not there on my replay yet, so if it's my fault, then I fucked it.
I mean,
But,
we'll definitely say this from our perspective. You are having absolutely amazing defense, planting the car where it wants to be, only going ever so slightly wide in turn one.
I thought he might have a look at it, which is why I came left to sort of. I always sort of drive a diagonal line into the corkscrew from right to left, but I guess maybe he was late on the brakes, but I don't understand going for it, the corkscrew. I had a few opportunities to do that and I never did. I don't understand the risk.
Well, I'm sure we're gonna get some. I'm sure we're gonna get some sort of explanation for that in the steward's office. But a very unfortunate end to your race. You still managed to finish ahead of 3 other drivers, though. Do you know what happened to them?
I think Gillis had a setup that did not agree with the curbs very well. So I know 2 of the people I finished in front of was Gillis and whoever he crashed into because of the curb bug. But yeah, I have to look at the positives. You know, it's good race, just good, decent setup. You know, it really came alive in the wet. It was
absolutely
shaping up really nicely to be the dream end I wanted, and no, unfortunately.
Well,
as you mentioned, though, definitely outpacing quite a few regulars at the sharp end of the grid. We had Kazda quite a bit behind until he got disconnected. We had Gillish having an absolute shitstorm of a race. Runelink also not quite having the best of it. I think he's been sent to the back of the grid multiple times in that one race alone. So
yeah, it's yeah. I need to get through the replay and have a look at the incident, but I'm just crushed really. It was all looking so good. I'd done so well the whole race, and bleh.
Well, one final comment from me on that one.
With 2 laps to go, just dead.
It was quite the heartbreak witnessing that live as well. But even if it's a small consolation, my final message to you is that you have in fact received an apology from Fennec for the contact going into turn 1.
Yeah, I saw that. Wasn't even close to contact on my end, he says. It was a full-on punt job on my end, I can say that much.
I was confused when I thought when he didn't let you go back. I'm like, hang on.
I was a bit aggrieved by that. I was a bit annoyed with him, to be honest.
I would feel violated.
I mean, I wouldn't have been able to keep it because my tyres were actively falling off a cliff, but yeah, it's I sort of caught up and breezed past when I went on to stint 2, which is, the car was flying then.
Sadly though, we have to let you go. But one more thing. Next, I'm guessing you're signed up for next season. Oh no, of course you are. Yeah.
I am. Yeah.
How much are you looking for the GT4s?
I've not driven them yet, but I hope they're good. It's my take on it.
Well,
I've not driven them, but hopefully it's good.
Oh yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, they should be easier to control than these things, I think.
I quite like these. They weren't that bad. Yeah. Hopefully, I don't have a return to my form from the BMW Pro Car League, which is the last time I drove something similar. So,
ooh, okay.
Fingers crossed, it's not a complete disaster like that was. But yeah.
Well, we'll be crossing our fingers along with you, and looking forward to interviewing both you and Binding again at the first race of next season.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me. I think that's every race now, isn't it?
Yeah. Except for, were you for the first one? I hope you were. I'm gonna go back now.
I think I was, yeah. I think it was every race.
But yeah, we will.
We gotta put that on our bingo card as well.
Every race.
But yeah, we will see you next season in the GT4s.
Oh, yeah, hopefully I can redeem myself a bit.
All right.
But thank you for having me.
No, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Yeah. I'll get out of your hair now.
All right, now let's go ahead and interview our actual race winner on this occasion, Svi.
Yes.
Now, Svi, we saw quite a bit of fun battling, good driving on your part, but if I've ever seen a race win handed on a silver platter like that, it's got to be tonight. How do you feel?
I mean, like, obviously, the incident between Cuckoo and Tomba was unfortunate. I never got to see it, but I think I drove pretty good, mistake-free. So I think I was hoping I was always on for a podium. I had a bit of an incident mid-race with Gillish, so I thought that could have like completely ended any chance of top 5, but due to disconnects and other people having problems, I ended up a lot higher.
Yeah, and I mean, we definitely caught a few of your battles, I think, and we also noticed that I think it was Fennec was catching you, but then he suddenly had that late race pit stop, which sent him to the back of the grid. When it came to pit stops, were you kind of aware of how many pit stops people still had to go? Because we saw a lot of people pitting when we weren't quite expecting it.
Like, the only one I wasn't quite sure of was Shad. When he was P3 just ahead of me, and I was unsure whether he had to pit again or not. But everyone else, I sort of had a rough idea of where they were, what they were doing.
And speaking about what people were doing, a lot of people were disconnecting as well. Did you at any point think that you might fall victim to that as well?
I was not that worried about it, because if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Just kind of ignored it, because I don't have any control of it.
That's true. That is definitely the best mentality, because, I mean, the less you think about stuff like that you can't change, the more you can focus on the car and battles at hand. How much practice did you get for this one?
I think I did about 40 minutes of practice in the practice session, and that was it.
Yeah, not too bad. Was, I mean, considering this is the final race of the season, would you rank this race in your top 3 of most fun races?
Of this season or of all time?
Of this season.
Oh yeah, definitely of this season. Like, I've had some really, really bad races this season. Caught up in incidents or making stupid mistakes on my behalf, but I wish the season was a little bit longer. I feel like I've only just sort of got used to the car and how it's doing, what it's doing. So I think I would do better in, like, if the season was double the length, I think I could do a little bit better in the second half.
Quick, Nismo, hide the GT4 calendar. It's way shorter.
Oh god. Oh yeah. Oh.
Hopefully, my teammate can carry me to victory.
Yeah, I heard you snatched none other than Matt. So that is hopefully a driver that can give you some nice setups. Since especially, I think I've been hearing things, but are you driving the Camaro?
I am driving the Camaro.
Oh.
I actually did some practice in it last night, I think. And it feels interesting. There's definitely potential there, but it's going to be a lot of setup work, I think.
Right,
which I won't do.
Are you going to let Mats do all the setup work?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, I definitely think he's probably one of the better drivers when it comes to that, although he may also be washed because I beat him in the last race that I raced against him. But that's beside the point. I look forward to seeing you guys competing next season, and I hope our viewers do too.
Yeah.
All right, well, congrats on the final win of the season. It's definitely a nice one to have around one of the more tricky tracks. And yeah, I hope to see you again on the top step in the GT4s. Have a good one.
Yeah, and I think a big, massive thank you is in need for you two, Nismo for streaming and you both for commentating. It's really nice that you guys take your time to do this, and it's really good for you.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it a lot.
Much appreciated, and of course, without you guys, we'd just be sitting here falling asleep, so appreciate the nice racing as well, and yeah, looking forward to plenty more where that came from. That has been the interview with our potential P1 and our eventual P1. Now let's go ahead and move on to well, actually, no, let's move on to Kaz, because he is P1 in the championship.
Okay, let's bring Ultimate K's in then.
Now, our third P1 interview, winning the season. Congratulations, Keza.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I think this is the first time we've celebrated a title with a DNF.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. But it's also my first time celebrating a league title, to be honest.
Hey?
How's it feel?
Wait,
Yeah, I mean it's nice. Not as nice as I would have hoped, but that's purely because the last seasons I was always in these like runner-up positions, P2, P3, P2 again, I think, and it was pretty close, right? And this time I have a really big lead, so it doesn't feel as deserved because we have some really fast guys in there like Tomba and Ruling and Gillish and obviously a lot of other drivers as well. But yeah, they either had bad luck or disconnects or fuel bugs or like real life obligations, So they weren't in the full game. But
Yeah, that's very true, of course. But I mean, considering the amount of fast guys that we've got in this session, in this league, we've seen you with pretty good race pace overall. Not always the best in qualifying, so you've definitely had to do a decent bit of fighting on track. Now, I know you didn't finish this race, but can you tell us a bit about the battles you had before you got kicked out?
Oh, I have to say, like, this race was so bad for me. I had no pace at all. The only real battles I had were in the beginning, on the opening lap, pretty much made up some positions, and then I don't know, there was some weird Constantina effect going on in the corkscrew, and I don't know, like they were braking and then accelerating again, then braking again, and I don't know, I misjudged it a bit, so I had to dive down the inside of Svi and absolutely ruined my tires. So from that on, I just could feel the flat spot, and there was nothing I could have done. And then actually, I was trying to defend against Gillish and got I clipped the bugged curb and got thrown into him.
Oh.
So not a great race for me. Gladly, Gillish only got like 2 damage from that. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we saw quite a few incidents here. I'm sure a lot of the curbs were responsible for that. Do you know if there's any crazy curbs on the calendar for next season?
Not as far as I know, but to be honest, like we did a few laps on Laguna Seca when we tested these cars, obviously, and we didn't notice that. So I don't know if that's something new in the meantime, but I'm not sure there was a patch in between or what happened. But yeah, I think the other tracks should be fine.
I mean, did the 1.5 updates come during this league or?
No, before.
Before. Okay, so that is very weird and unexplainable then.
I mean, did you guys run competitive setups during testing?
No, but for this one, I don't think it matters because, like, I think Mia said, like when she was on maximum ride height, then it kind of worked, but also not always. And I mean the default setup isn't, on maximum ride height, so we would have definitely caught it. Maybe we were just not pushing as much because obviously the cars were new to us as well, and you're not as confident right away. And obviously, we did a few laps on all the tracks and then in different conditions, and just to figure that out and just have limited testing time. So you obviously you don't think about stuff like that happening, right? Because that's the first time we encountered it. The curbs in AMS2 are actually really, really good, usually. So yeah, just a missed point from us, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, this track, of course, being pretty infamous in multiple games for its auto spin curbs. But my next point of focus, and this might be the last question for you tonight, but having won the Drivers' Championship, but also the team standings, what can you tell us about your 2 teammates, Fennec and Eddie, across this season?
Yeah, they've been amazing, actually. Like, Fennec only comes home a few minutes before quali, so he can't really go into the official practice. Some races he didn't really do practice before, and then still made up amazing results. I think we worked a bit on Eddie's confidence, because we actually noticed that he kind of rage quit from Indy, and if he wouldn't have done that, he would have likely been P2 in the standings.
Ooh.
But yeah, like they are fast guys. Eddie, currently, I think definitely the fastest pet driver we have, which is gonna make you guys very happy. And yeah, very nice guys. A lot of thanks to them. Did some setup talk with them, and I think especially also Eddie learned a bit And yeah, maybe also talking about setup. We are gonna have the workshop next week, so in case anybody is still watching you, join in and we tell you a bit about setups. And then you too can win the team championship.
Hey. Okay, now my actual final question for you, Kaiser. This is the real one this time. Give me one word of advice for your rivals next season.
One word. Or like
A figurative word. It can be a sentence.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, don't give up, to be honest, because I think a lot of guys would have been a lot closer if they, didn't, quit on some of the races. I think the race is over when it's over, and we have the safety car rules in place. That you can always have a comeback, or stuff like that happens. Like this race was the prime example.
I was about to say, yeah.
Yes, I mean, Svi won the fucking race, right? And like he was actually arguing with me before when we did the BOP for this league that he shouldn't be on the fast driver lists because he's slow. That's what he said. Now he's just stayed in the race, kept his head up, just drove his race, and some server shenanigans and the leaders taking them out, and bam, you win a race. The same for Shad. I think up until Gateway he was on 0 points because he gave up on some races, then he had a disconnect or something, and then he stays in the races. Gateway, he finishes, I think, on a podium as well, getting a shit ton of points, and
Yeah, he's beating Veilside in the standings.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? So, like, he finished basically 2 races. Both of them were crazy to some extent, and 2 podiums, and you are shooting up the standings, So that's why you should always stay in the race.
All right. Well, Nismo, do you have any more questions for our double champion for this season?
Well, more or less, just congratulations, winning, even though it was a DNF. And yeah, congratulations, and hopefully in the GT4 league we'll hopefully, well, maybe see you win it, but hopefully it'll still be a bit more competitive.
I think it will be actually really good. Yeah, the BOP should be working. Especially the Merc and the Ginetta, for me, for Xevious, for example, also the McLaren, they are quite a bit faster than the other cars, and we have the aliens and other fast drivers in the slower cars, so it should make for competitive grid. Maybe also some surprise winners again. Who knows? Anyway, a final word from me as well. Thanks as always also to you guys. It wouldn't be half the fun without having you for commentary.
Oh.
So yeah, I really enjoy watching those. Also, discussing a lot with Nismo on how we can always improve stuff. And yeah, just let me say, you two do an amazing job, and we really enjoy having you here.
Love to hear it, and we love having you guys watching as well. So we'll keep on doing our best in the seasons to come.
All right, then I'm gonna leave you to the others and have a good night.
Yeah, you go enjoy your title, and we'll see you for the next one.
Yeah, see ya.
Now let's go ahead and bring in Eisenschenk, because he is in fact a member of the team that placed second in the team standings.
Yeah, and actually would have been second, but sadly, due to a penalty, came third this race.
All right, Eisenschenk, welcome. Almost P2 finisher in the race and definitive P2 finisher in the team standings. Let me just quickly check where you are, and you're actually P2 in the driver standings as well. So welcome, and tell us about how that went. Are you alive? I think Eisenschenk may be dead. Let's go ahead and bring in Michael.
Okay, let's.
No,
oh, he's here!
I forgot to unmute. I'm
He's
sorry.
breathing.
Yeah, like always, I'm still breathing.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Before I forget it, thanks for doing all that work with streaming and the commentate and everything. There's a couple of people out there who really enjoyed. One of them is my mom. Yeah, and she every Monday she's looking forward to see the stream and listen to you guys. And of course, she wants to see me finish up high, but I cannot do her the favor all the time. So
I mean, I'm sure
yeah.
you made her plenty happy tonight, and I'm just looking at the team at the driver standing. Sorry, you beat Jedlin by not that many points at all. I mean, Cuckoo, if they had won that race, would probably have been P2 as well. So that was a pretty unexpected result, and something to be very happy about for sure.
Well, to be honest, the whole season has been quite unexpected from the outcome to me, and from the single races. I didn't think I could be competitive in any way in this car. But yeah, I was so lucky in the end. I mean, I took profit from people dropping out and from all these problems that people had. So Jetlin is quite experienced driver who also likes Formula cars and all that. And but he had problems tonight. I saw him. Well, did you catch that on stream? There was an incident with him in the corkscrew. He must have completely misjudged his braking point, and
I think he rear-ended someone on stream. Yeah, I think we caught
Yeah,
that.
I believe we caught that. Yeah.
yeah. And then I think Cuckoo was the one on P3 in the leaderboard before this tonight's race. So those two were my primary targets, but I was nowhere near them. Well, I had a problem in the first couple of laps. I was caught by Ultimate Case, actually. He had a problem in the corkscrew and he took me out there. So I had an extra repair stop. And then I was caught in another incident. I had some front damage from it. Couldn't really push at that time, but I decided to stay out. And I was in a two-stop strategy. One stop refueling 70 liters, and the other one should have been just a splash and dash for another 20 liters, maybe. But then I had one extra stop, but so far it went well. I found out during practice well, accidentally, that the car felt well with primaries in the front and softs in the rear. So that's how I drove the race.
Wait,
Very,
really?
very interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting. They were wearing out at the same time, so yeah. And
Did that feel
balance
just as
didn't
good in the
change.
dry as it did in the rain?
Yeah, but you didn't really feel the rain, to be honest.
Oh, okay, because we definitely heard some people say they struggled a lot more in the dry than they did in the rain.
Okay, maybe they had soft tires all around, and they tend to overheat. I don't know.
Quite possible. I mean, you're the first one to tell us about a kind of interesting strategy like that, as we've got Escher saying rally strategies right there. Couldn't agree more, and yeah, I think you've definitely proven that consistency is king. Getting that P2, as you say, an unexpected result, but a deserved one for sure. I hope you can have some fun celebrations with Mother Eisenschenk after this season, and Nismo, do you have any more questions for our P2 finisher?
Yeah, other than good to see you finishing so high up. Sadly, getting the penalty dropping down, but still, even without it, getting a P2 in that epic number 69 car.
Yeah. Well, that's not some special thing with the 69. It's just the year that I'm born.
No.
So,
It was the summer of '69.
yeah. Actually, it was February, but yes.
That's summer in Australia.
Okay.
Somewhere in the world, somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, before I let you go, I do have this final question that I'm asking everyone in the top 3 teams.
Yeah.
Considering you got P2 in the team standings as well, can you give us a little word about the performances of your teammates Exus and Gillish across the season?
Yes, I can. Well, Gillish, he hasn't been here a lot. Unfortunately, he missed, I think, 2 races. And he had bad luck in some other races. I think he had one disconnect. anyway, he when he showed up, he was scoring, and that was perfect. And Brian, I love working on setups with him, and they both were really good teammates. Gillis shared me his setup tonight before the race, but I didn't want to change, didn't want to make last minute changes. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to race them again, both.
As teammates or adversaries?
We're gonna be competitors next league. I'm gonna team
Alright.
up with Keza actually
Hey.
in the
Ooh,
Camaro.
The top two forming a team together. Okay.
Let's see if I'm gonna be competitive in this car as well. But I drove the Camaro once, and I actually like it. It's not the fastest car, but it's fun to drive, and that's what it's about.
I will say from experience from driving the Camaro, it turns like a boat, but it brakes like an F1 car at some points.
Oh wow. Okay.
So hopefully it's not, because I haven't driven it since 1.5. But that in under braking, I know for a fact it is well, at least from my perspective, it felt like one of the best cars on the.
Well, maybe I can do the same that I did last race and take out half the grid. Get a penalty for that? No. Yeah.
I guess your
No, that wasn't. That was a super fun race, but I'm really. I have to say, sorry, big sorry to everyone who was involved in that last race. Yeah. But still, it was fun season, and I'm very happy I could finish where I did. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one to remember. Can be proud of getting that result, because I mean, P2 in a league with all these drivers, we have some very, very quick guys in here.
Yeah, but I took profit from them dropping out and having problems, and Tomba with his fuel bug as usual. I don't know. There are way better drivers than me, and I just got lucky.
Yeah, I mean, you do have a point there, but I just want to emphasize as well, we did see these guys making quite a few mistakes, sometimes trying to recover from having bad luck, and then absolutely binning it during wheel-to-wheel battles. But that just goes to show that pace isn't always the same as on-track racing, but we'll be seeing plenty more of that next season, I'm sure. Eisenschenk, congrats on your P2, and have a good one.
Thanks you guys. See you next season.
Yeah, see you next season, or maybe the next week Monday. We'll see.
Or maybe on Stuart's meeting.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks.
All right, have a good one.
Cheers.
Bye.
Now let's go ahead and bring in Michael, who didn't quite have the best race, but has finished P3 in the team standings. Michael, welcome and thank you for your patience. It was quite the interesting race, but you have finished P3 in the team standings. How do you feel?
Hello, guys. Yeah, the race was fun for me, actually. I did some mistakes, but the car fits the track very well. And
so, did you enjoy racing in the dry conditions or in the intermediate/wet conditions more?
A little bit more in the wet, because the tire degradation was much less than the dry conditions. So the last third of the race was a little bit hard for me on the tires. I thought maybe I could do like a 2-stop, but it was not enough for 2-stop. I had to do 3 stops.
Yeah, I do remember you were in quite a good position at some point towards the, I think the latter half of the middle of the race. You were in a pretty good spot with good pace when it was wet as well, so that has to be said. Can you tell us a bit about the incidents you had as well?
The most incidents was like when I went off gravel, like in the fast left-hander before the corkscrew. And in the last corner, I went off 2 times. 3 times, I don't know. The last corner was... You have so much understeer when the tires are half dead. Yeah. It was tricky, but it was really fun. The car is amazing to drive on this track.
Well, that's what we love to hear, of course. And having fun is always going to be more important than getting those little numbers on the screen. Are you looking forward to the GT4s next season?
Yeah, I never drove this car, maybe one time, so it's a completely new thing to do for me. But yeah, let's see how it goes. I drive the Mercedes, so it's a little fast on the straight because I'm a little bit slower driver, so I'm allowed to drive this car. So let's see what we can do.
Yeah, I'm definitely very curious to see how those cars play out, because of course, the slower the cars, typically the closer racing you get, at least in my prior experience. So I'm definitely looking forward to watching you drive those cars. What's been your favorite race of this IndyCar season?
Like from pace-wise, I would say the last race. I had the best pace, so that was for me what was good fun. So I would say Laguna Seca.
All right. Yeah, I mean, if it weren't for that extra pit stop, I definitely think you probably even had a chance for a podium. So definitely looking forward to seeing more of that pace. Now, considering that this season had some ovals for the first time at MSR, would you say that we should also have an oval race in the GT4s?
Oh, difficult question. So the ovals are not so enjoyable for most of the people, I heard. So it's all the time left, going left. Very long race.
Yeah, we should get a right oval.
We drive it backwards.
You have half the grid driving forwards, half of them driving backwards.
The one on the inside,
I think
the
there
other
might
on
be
the
a
outside.
safety car in between there somewhere.
Yeah, the safety car is just driving constantly. No one knows
Yeah.
where to follow it.
I don't know, maybe fun, yeah. Try. We have to try out. We have to try out with the GT4s. Yeah, maybe some one oval race, like for half an hour or something.
I
Would be
definitely
fun.
think that would be pretty funny, even if the cars are going to be redlining for the whole thing. See whose engine lasts the longest. I think that would be a fun, maybe between league competition. But yeah, definitely looking forward to that league. And yeah, I'm out of questions, so I'm going to hand the mic back over to Nismo.
Yeah, well, next season is as much as we've talked about running GT4s and ovals. I don't know if you've signed up for next season. I hope you have.
Yeah.
But you know what car you might be taking?
Yeah, the Mercedes.
Oh, the quick
You've
boy.
been sleeping, Nismo. He already said this.
Oh, sorry.
I don't
I've been.
want to say it.
I've been. Apologies,
other
but
stuff to do.
still though, Snetterton, Donington, Brands Hatch, Alton Park, Silverstone, of course, all British tracks. Which one are you looking
Ooh.
forward to the most there?
Brands Hatch I drove when I started here with sim racing a couple of times. But what were there others? Brands.
Snetterton, Donington, Alton Park, and Silverstone are the others.
Yeah, you just said Snetterton. I might want to drive one race in this season now.
I don't know.
It's pre-season. It does. To be honest, I'm not surprised. It's it's got probably, in my opinion, the most deadliest sector 3 and deadliest hairpin in the entirety of any racetrack that has ever existed. I think I would pick. I know this is a bold statement, Martin, but I'd rather pick Cleveland than Snetterton.
I was about to say, if you think that about Snetterton, you have never been to Cleveland. You absolute disgrace to the grid.
Hey, where's my car? On the street. Oh, wait. Ah, here's it. I have it. I watched the stream. I had it on pause. Oh, I can see my car the last time here on stream. Live.
Honestly though, still a great team result, and if I'm
Yeah, thanks to the others. Thanks to Package and Runelink. They made the points.
if I did, because I definitely remember some overtakes from you. Sadly, I didn't do the overtaking thing this season, but if I did, I definitely think you'd be in there multiple times. I definitely remember seeing some good overtakes, but
Where?
oh,
Where?
I'm there. Trust me.
This race?
Over the entirety of the season.
Okay.
I don't know if we got much of you this race, sadly, but hopefully we'll be catching you more up in the front of that bullet of a Mercedes next season.
Nismo has died and been resurrected again? Okay, yeah, Nismo has stolen my voice, I guess.
So it turns out I think I need to get a new
Are you there,
headset.
Nismo?
Yes, I think my microphone and my headset has become a bit unreliable. So that's going to be another purchase I might have to make. That was extremely weird there. But sorry,
Yeah, Michael was just saying how he enjoyed the commentary that you guys provided when he had a moment in the Cleveland pit lane.
Oh my word!
Yeah.
I have it on my phone.
Yeah, anyways, it's been great having you part of this season. I'm really happy that we'll be seeing you for next season as well, and hopefully we'll see you next Monday as well for the little setup thing. But
yeah, you have to remind me. God.
Yeah, until hopefully, I think I'll be streaming that if I'm here. But yeah, until then, we will see you there.
Yeah, thank you, and
Have a
thank
good
you
one.
for all the commentary, like everybody says. Thank you.
Much
It's
appreciated.
always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
Always fun to watch. Yeah, so goodbye, guys. Thank you.
See you, Michael.
Yeah, have a good
Bye.
one.
So yeah, quite possibly the most chaotic race. Well, I'm actually not sure. We had some pretty crazy things happen this season, but this may be the only one where we've had 4 cars get flipped over in a single race. I mean, that's pretty hard to beat.
Yeah, without a doubt, and a lot of disconnects. But definitely an exciting finish, an exciting start. This race has had absolutely everything. It's had weather conditions changing. It's had people not pitting as well for what I expected potential wets. But honestly, an amazing race. And of course, I've got to say thank you, Martin, for as always sticking around to help me commentate. My streams wouldn't be that much without you. So always. Thanking you every time for helping me stream and commentate.
It's been an absolute pleasure, but I'm still waiting for that first paycheck.
Oh god.
I'm coming for you.
Yeah, it's it's been an amazing season. For those still watching, thank you so much for watching, and if you are taking part, thank you for taking part, and hopefully we'll see you next season. But until then, it's gonna be goodbye to IndyCar, and hopefully hello to GT4 next league, and we will see you guys then, as I'll play the intro/outro for the final time.
Good night, everyone.